All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today have the guest of honor, Matteo Finazzi. He is a friend that we've developed here over the last couple of years. He's a professional soccer player. He's an entrepreneur. He's a father. All around amazing man who has really helped develop a lot of the kids here in Elizabethtown with their soccer skills. He's been trusted amongst the coaches, trusted amongst the families, and is someone that I've been really excited to get to know. He's trained my two older daughters, individually, and I would say that the work that he put into them on several occasions really helped them within their freshman and sophomore years of their high school soccer and the travel team with Racing Louisville. So Matteo, thank you for joining us. I am thrilled to have you here. And how are you doing today?
Good. Just got my coffee this morning. I'm ready to roll. Thank you. Thank you
Perfect.
for having me here. I'm really excited. I was still a little nervous about it, but I'm excited to be able to be here.
No, well, this is I think you're gonna have a lot of fans especially from the area who watch this and are thrilled to see you on here. So could you tell me a little bit about yourself, your background,
Well,
your soccer, whatever it is you want to talk about?
yeah. So, well, as you say, Matteo Finazzi. If you don't know me, I come from a long way around the world, to say it that way. I was born in Argentina. I lived there 3-4 years. Whenever the situation got bad political wise, we moved to Spain, where I have some family. I was raised mostly there. Played soccer for Atletico Madrid for the academy, what it will be called, the under-19s, all the way until I was 18 years old. Then 19, moved to Norway for a whole year round to play professional soccer. After that, I came back, and as soon as I came back, I decided that I wanted to pursue my academics and my soccer in America. So I came to Texas, then ended up in Kentucky since I met my wife and decided that it was time to settle.
Awesome. So right now, you recently, not too long ago, you started playing professional soccer for Southern Indiana. Can you explain the
Yes.
team and where they're at?
Yeah, Southern Indiana FC. So it's an amazing project that was started by well, now interim coach Andrew Menes and an owner, which is Nick Hunter. Two amazing people that put together a project that, as of now, is just going up. I I do not think it has a roof, and every week that passes, it's amazing the way that it's looking. We have started on the UPSL, which is considered a semi-professional level. It's a semi-professional league, but the way that the club is handled, the videos during the games, everything, the way it's handled is extremely professional. And in the years to come, they have ideas, they have things that will be announced, and we'll take the next step to the next level whenever we're all ready. But it's based in Cordon, as of now, Cordon, Indiana, a little west from Louisville.
Hmm.
We That's where we practice. We do play on New Albany at the Green Valley Elementary,
Okay.
and it's been amazing. Honestly, it's just all the fans that we have been able to gather. Close to every game that we play home is 500 plus fans there watching us, screaming for us. The broadcast, it's unbelievable for any UPSL team that you can find. So we're really excited. We're really excited. Of course, it takes time. You cannot just build something good, something big in
Hmm.
1 month. It
Right.
takes a year at least, So that's all it is. It's just a professional team that is playing in a semi-professional level as of now.
That's awesome, and that's one of the key things on why wanting to have you on here is we're talking about uh, entrepreneurs, hardworking people who are making their way in the community, starting new things, and like you said, that this professional club, it's going to take time. You're not going to have, like you said, everything's going to be ready in 1 month. But there's a lot of people who would not even take on that challenge to even establish something like that. And someone like yourself, you're really an inspiration to the community because you see what you're doing there. But on top of that, you have your own academy that you do training here in Elizabethtown. Could you talk about your academy and kind of what brought you to do that?
So it's kind of a funny story because when I came to Elizabethtown with my wife, I didn't have it in mind. I really did not have it in mind, and I was working as a manager in Golden Corral, and I
Mhm.
was not super excited about the position. I was not super excited. It was long hours, tons of work on the way that I didn't like it in the same building for
Mhm.
8, 10, almost sometimes 12 hours. So I was coming home. It was rough to be home because I was tired. I want to be able to enjoy my family, and I was
Mhm.
not capable of. So one day I said it was enough. I just couldn't take anymore. And I have seen some people that he's been doing personal training around the world, and my wife pushed me. She was, listen, you are who you are. You have there's a lot of soccer around here. Try it. So
Yeah.
I remember I put the ad out there, and in between a week I already have 4 or 5 kids, and within a month it was already 20. So it just started
Yeah.
growing and growing, and now we're sitting on almost 90 kids every week, and it's unbelievable. Like, to think of it, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I know when we were here. I mean, we moved here about 5 or 6 years ago, and when we were looking at soccer programs, they had Athletic Flames, a couple others in the general area. But without, if I'm not mistaken, without going to Louisville, there was no way to have any kind of individual training because at the time we didn't have the Bluegrass indoor facility. We didn't have anything like that. And when Coach Jessica
Yeah.
mentioned your name, we were like, heck yes. And then I think Susan came down to meet you. And then the next thing you know, we had our both girls going at the same time, fighting each other on the field to try to do well and impress you because, it's one thing where I'm out there trying to teach them, not that I have any soccer skills, but try to teach them, to be fit, conditioned, or whatever. It's like, yeah, whatever, dad. Like, oh, sure. When we have someone who's, played professional soccer and
Right.
can do all the moves, speak the language, like as far as I still don't know all the right terms for soccer. I still mess it up.
I personally, I'm an old school. I'm not a big guy on names on when it comes to dribbles and things like that. I just
Yeah.
play the game. But
But
sometimes they underestimate the condition. Some kids, they think that you capable of just from here take that step, but it takes work, and
yeah.
sometimes you gotta put it in. It's
Oh, for
not
sure.
funny. Not funny. It's not funny, but once they put the work, they see it.
Yeah, no, it's been incredible, and it's just a difference in the level of growth. I think of the youth soccer players who've come through your program, it has been amazing. And then on top of that, um, you have your own line of uniforms, correct?
So that was a small project that I end up putting on the side because of what you were talking at the beginning. It's lots of sources. Like,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you put so many things on you, one of them is going to end up not having the quality that you expect. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a project that I ended up putting on the side as of now, just so I can focus on what I think I really can succeed, which is soccer.
Yeah,
So yes, I did it for a few months, which it went good. Didn't meet the expectations, so I decided to put on the side and focus on soccer.
yeah. Well, I would say when the girls got their uniforms, it was pretty cool because to have them all
Yeah.
dressed the same in legitimate soccer attire, as opposed to them wearing their, random t-shirts, Disney t-shirts or whatever else they had on. It was cool to see it. And then when you have multiple kids at the same time, just seeing the program thrive and seeing, like you said, you got like 90 kids now, seeing it from just, it was the same faces as I kept recognizing throughout the year to all of a sudden, you're getting all these folks now. So I think that's awesome. But it brings me to a point. How do you, as a professional soccer player, as a father, husband, how do you manage to balance all this? Are you like, I know you're prioritizing things, but man, you got to be burning the candle at both ends.
I do
If
coffee. I do coffee. Coffee is it's what balances everything. No, it's difficult. It's not something that is easy. Whenever we wake up here around, well, I wake up here around 5:45 to be able
Mhm.
to take a quick shower, head to the field so we can practice, then come home, relax for a minute, have a few hours maybe to go see the family, and then go straight back to the fields to work on the academy. It's not easy. I will say it is challenging. I'm grateful that I have the wife that I have. She she's not only amazing taking care of our kids, she's amazing understanding of the challenges that we have in life. And
Mhm.
I think that that's what helps it, like the fact that I have someone that understands what it needs to be done.
Mhm.
And me, of course, trying to differ work from home. It's always a discussion there. It's always something not easy to do. But as I get older, I think that it's starting to be easier and easier to know that as soon as I walk into my house, it is not work anymore. Even though I might have some thoughts, some ideas, things in my head, it's kids. It's all my kids. It's all my wife. It's not about work anymore.
Yeah, I think it's been a trend of the people I've interviewed with the same mindset that you have has been the supportive family structure,
Yes,
the
it
spouse or whatever. But without that,
no, it's
to a
impossible.
T, exactly, exactly. And so that's, I think that's become very important. And and if I'm not mistaken, you said she was a military child as well.
Yes, she is. She is. So her dad did the military for 20 years. As of now, he works for a company in Fort Knox. But she works at a daycare. She works
Mm-hmm.
at a daycare, and she takes care of our kids, educates them, takes them to every soccer thing that we got. On the weekends, yes, I'm capable of being there a little more and to watch my kids. But during the week, it's hectic. It's hectic. This morning we got, thanks God, we got some time to go get some coffee together, eat something together. But normally it doesn't happen.
For sure. And you're working all these hours and on this and putting so much effort into it. But I think it highlights, there's kind of a saying, I'd rather work 80 hours a week at a job I love and I'm passionate about than 40 hours at one I hate. And so seeing, the success you're having and the hard work you're putting into it to something you're passionate about has got to be fulfilling for you.
Yes, it is. Honestly, it seeing my kids being capable of not only perform, because I don't focus so much. Let's say the kid will develop, will be a better soccer player, but for me, it's them to be able to be a better human. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I think that with the generations coming, it's something that is being left behind, and I think it's really important for us to keep the focus there, having that self discipline for ourselves, because one day God wants to, they'll be soccer players. But if they're not, they're still humans. They still will be working a job. They're still having their own business. So I want them to have the same ambition that I have towards my businesses in my life. So that is what fulfills me when I see them, when they send me work that they have done at home, when they talk to me about, hey, I have worked on this super hard. That's what really fulfills me. Be
Yeah.
knowing that I'm capable of putting that mentality into the kids.
Yeah. No, I think it's important. And you've seen it throughout your lives or throughout your life that, probably team sports, especially as a younger person who stays with it, carries forward that into their adult life. They deal with failure. They deal with, trying to be humble. If when they were very successful, being humble enough to, support your teammates and not, all these different life lessons, I think are,
Yeah.
if you learn these as a kid, and I think you're instilling that in them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of kids when I was back in Europe. Kids, I mean, talent is there. There's good kids. There's really good players. It just sometimes you don't make it because it's not up here. If it your brain is not ready, you won't succeed. I mean, for an instance, when I was 18 in Norway, I had everything. It just my mental state was not there. I was impatient. I was humble enough to be there. I just want it right now. And sometimes God does not give you things right now when you want it.
Mhm.
So for me, the way to see it is once I learn all these things, all the maturity through either me coaching the kids or me living life have led to Southern Indiana now. So I'm trying to get that step out of the way for my little kids towards if they ever got the chance, their mental state is ready to take that step.
Yeah, that's great. So, how old are your kids?
My well, so Levi's 8,
Hmm.
Saturn's turning 6, Lilo is 2. My wife is gonna kill me if I miss one of these ones. And my latest one is 5 months.
And so, how do they come to your games, and have they? What's it like for them to
Yes,
see dad on the
yes.
professional
So
field?
Yes, they do. It makes it a hassle for my wife. I'm not gonna lie. It is a hassle because there is a lot of people and the space is not huge since we still don't have yet our own
Yeah,
stadium. But they're there, they love it. There's tons of kids, they run around, and it's I guess that's one of the things that threw me to take the step again, just for them to be able that if I don't pursue what I love, how can I require them to do that? How
mhm,
can I tell them to do something that I haven't done?
right,
So that's the reason why with 25 years old, which sounds young, but after a lot of days, a lot of years of inactivity in a high
yeah,
level, it takes a minute for the body to get back into it.
yeah,
So I took that challenge just for them. Whenever they come to see me, whenever they come to the field, they understand that I have fought for what I want, and I want them to do the same when they grow.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So how would you say, especially your professional experience, how has that influenced how you coach these young kids? Is there a difference on do you train or do you coach differently by
I think it
person,
comes.
case by case?
I think it comes to a standard. So the fact that I've been able to see certain levels of soccer or have being able to play on certain levels of soccer makes you have a standard for the kids. Either the technical ability is there or no,
Hmm.
because you can always perform high. You can always put the effort to it, either if it goes wrong. I really encourage my kids to make mistakes, especially when my practice, because there's no coach. I'm not their coach. I'm just their personal trainer. I am not their parent. So I want them to make those mistakes because that's the only way I can fix it. So I set the standard high towards they make those mistakes. And when they don't make those mistakes, that's whenever I can stop the play and teach them.
Hmm.
But if I just run it like a like normal level so they can feel sick, so they can feel successful, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna teach them something. So the way that I will see is that the standard that I've seen on professional levels allows me to expect a lot from my kids, and if they're not there, understand that that's when I teach. You know.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, no, that's a great point. And so have you run into any challenges when you set up this program? Because again, it was brand new. Did you run into any challenges setting up this
Well,
academy or anything like that? Was it pretty
well,
smooth?
yes, yes. Elizabethtown is a peculiar. Is that
Hmm.
is I think that's the word in English.
Yeah.
Peculiar city. It is. There's a lot of curves. Whenever you see a straight path, it's not that straight. It's a lot of curves around. So I mean, feel wise, I'll say USA, EFC now, the Sportplex, they have been really helpful because I think they have seen in me someone that really wants to help.
Hmm.
I have no desire to take advantage of anyone. So they have seen someone that truly wants to put in the work for the kids. So they have helped me. But I'll say that from knowing nothing and how nothing works around a city, there's been some challenges, some small steps that had to go into Google, research, learn, and try and understand that I never knew about.
Hmm. But you did it, right? I think
Yes,
that's the cool part, right?
that's the entrepreneur thing. I mean, you do it. You
Yeah,
have to do it.
yeah, it didn't stop you. You
No,
didn't say, forget it. This is too complicated. I mean, you went and did it. And I think a lot of people, and I'm probably part of those people. Um, it's hard for me, or was hard for me to kind of step out, and if I didn't know anything, or if there wasn't like, a sure success, it was hard to take that leap for fear of failure,
yeah,
and also a failure to just do the research, which obviously that's changed over the last couple of years. Um, but that's always been my mindset. If it wasn't guaranteed, I didn't want to put in the work and effort to try to make it happen. And I think that's why it's important to highlight folks like you, because you made a difference in a lot of kids' lives. Not to mention your own families and everything else, but the impact you've had with all these kids who've come through your program, they're going to remember you forever. But had you just had one bad day inside not to study it, or do the research.
right. It just honestly, and that's the whole point. Whenever I hope that one day when they're all grow and path wherever they are on their paths, they reach out and they're like, hey, how are you? Like I, that's the kind of mentality I want to put on them, that I still to this day I have connections with my older coaches from the past that they have been amazing
Mhm.
mentors in my life. So hopefully one day that happens. Hopefully whenever they all grow and they're in different paths, they just tell me about it, because that's gonna make me happy. That's kind of my legacy that I'm leaving behind for them to be able to succeed, even if it's to overcome a fear. Even if
Oh,
it's
for
that
sure.
it's something that it will really I would really love to see.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And to go in line with that answer, like, how do you see the academy evolving? Do you
So
think they'll grow more, or are you kind
so
of happy
there's
status level?
sorry, there's not much that I can tell you right now, but we are working on it.
Okay.
There is an expansion being talked on the table, which sadly partners and I we cannot talk about it
Yeah.
yet. But we moving, we're expanding, we still be in Etown, of course. I'm
Yeah.
not going anywhere from Etown. I love the city. I love how
Hmm.
it's done here. My kids, I have a really hard connection with most of them, so it's really difficult for me to let them go like that.
Yeah.
But we are working on expanding and trying to bring that culture to somewhere else, towards the
Awesome.
kids can also relate to it. Because I know there's kids out there that they want to have that mentality. Sometimes it needs to be put in there for them to realize how much they want it. But
Right.
yes, we're working on the expansion. Again, sometimes it's not the hours that I put in as a coach, being in the
Hmm.
field coaching, is those hours behind that. They're long hours, lots of thinking, lots of coffee. that's
Yeah.
that's that's yeah. But we're thinking about that evolution. It's close. It's really close.
For sure. Do you have a big team? Or is it just you and another person, or what's
So, well, of course, my wife and I, we are
Mhm.
the main source in there now. My best friend Kamal, he got involved. He's a great player. He's
Mhm.
young. He's 21, and he's ambitious as he gets. So same from the same mentality, someone that wants to just eat the world.
Yeah.
So I want someone like that to put that into my kids. So yeah, it's just us three as of now,
Yeah.
but it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much people to take that big step.
That's awesome. And so what? So again, we've talked how you've played, in Europe. You play professional.
Yes.
What would you, even if a kid, you know, doesn't make professionals, it's always
Yes.
it's still good to have the aspiration at whatever level. I want to be a great high school player. I want to be a great college player. I want to be a professional. What advice would you give young athletes who are setting their goals high and want to achieve a certain level of success,
Yeah.
whatever that may be, whatever that level they consider is, and it's no guarantee obviously, but what would you advise them is what they need to do to kind of pursue those goals?
For me, and it's difficult to see as a kid, especially a youngster. But what I would say is be realistic, because it's okay to put those high goals, because I have done the same, and
Hmm.
still to this day I still do the same. 25 years, I still have dreams, and I will still fight for them. But be realistic towards how much do you deserve those dreams, whenever this is the quantity of work that you put in. Like, is the quantity of work that you put in behind deserving that level? That's what I would like to tell the kids. Like, because the way that the culture have developed, at least for what I see in America, because in Europe it's different. We're raised playing soccer in the streets. We're raised being outside and wanting to just play. Everything is soccer. You go in the house, you have a paper that you want to throw in the trash, and you normally will kick it into the trash. Like, that's
Yeah.
that's the way we live. It's in our blood. But here in
Yeah.
America, I see that is it's difficult. First, the community does not allow you that, because how much there's lots of cars, you normally don't walk to places, you normally don't bike to places. There is no public soccer field open that you will say everyone can go and just play soccer. You have to go either to the Plex, to Carroll, like you need to drive now 10-15 minutes for your parents to take you there.
Hmm.
So what I would say, everything is reduced to that club time, that hour, maybe 2-3 hours that you get to put in the week to get better. What I would say to the kids is put that work outside. Get the
Hmm.
ball, go outside, kick the ball in the house, even though your parents will be mad. I promise you that. They will be mad for kicking that ball in the house, but they'll miss it. They'll miss it, because my kids nowadays, they do it.
Hmm.
I'm happy about it, but I know that
Yeah.
they has helped them to develop so much, because being around a ball and learning to grow with the ball in your feet is what's gonna teach you how to be better with it. It's just that's it, those extra hours outside the field. Those are the most important hours. Like even to me right now, like if I just stick to my morning practice with the club and I don't put the work to take care of my body, to take care of my injuries or any
Mhm.
soreness that I have, if I don't take care of it, I'm not gonna be able to play. I'm not gonna be
Right.
able to give the level that is expected. So kids, they don't have to worry about the body much because they're kids, but they do have to worry about how many touches they get outside the field, how many times they go outside and play against the wall with the ball. It doesn't have to have someone else. Like honestly, I was raised playing by myself. My brothers were 10 to 14 years older than me. Sometimes they'll play with me, but it was not
Yeah.
really not fair play, you know.
Yeah.
So it make that ball your friend. And it carries on. I promise you. I'll say that if it weren't for that ball, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have created what I created. I wouldn't have the vision in life that I have if it weren't for that ball. So make the ball your best friend. That's what I will say.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the girls, not saying they listened all the time, but I
Well,
bought the, had them read the Kobe Bryant Mamba Mentality book. And he talks about his training and waking up and just training at this hour, then this hour, then this hour, while as somebody else is practicing 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and you're doing 4 times in a day or whatever it is. And he said, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Greatness isn't for everybody. And so
no,
I
and
think
and,
it stands out.
I love Kobe Bryant. He's when he said that, and I know exactly what you're talking about because I have read it.
Yeah.
It's something that it is true. Whenever you put in so much work ahead of someone, yes, they might have some natural talent that you might not have, but your work and your hunger is so big that they won't be able to do anything with it. And that's a big part. Also, watching soccer, at least it's not like basketball that you can now watch basketball and still play some good basketball.
Hmm.
Soccer, you need to watch a little bit. So I encourage my kids to, if they ever watch this, my little ones, watch soccer. You have to learn for the best, like the ones that are in the radar being watched every single time. Those are the ones that you need to be watching to learn, even if it's to do those scissors funny things that they like to do. It's a way of learning. It's a way of loving the game, and
Yeah.
that's what's gonna
No,
make you succeed.
well, growing up I grew up in Pittsburgh, and so there wasn't much soccer. So I grew up watching ice hockey, football, baseball, um, and it's probably typical across most of the U.S. unless you have like
Yeah,
how we have USL and other pro teams, right? MSL, MLS. One of the When we were in Kansas for that year, we saw the MLS team. I forget the name, but in Kansas City, and we
the
went to
Sporting Kansas.
yep, and we went to the game, and it was like nothing else I've ever experienced. Like I couldn't even imagine what it's like in Brazil or Spain
Oh,
or whatever.
listen.
It's probably insane. But being in that stadium, it felt like the drums going, it felt like your heart was beating the whole time, like super loud. And then just seeing how players move on the field was it's like you started to get more understanding of the game, and it was beautiful to watch. You think somebody's not even into play, but the way they're maneuvering puts them in a position to be part of the play that was coming 3 plays later. And
Yep.
so I think you're 100% right that it's probably something we don't do enough here in the States is truly watching and understanding the game itself, the way we would football or hockey or something.
Sometimes it's honestly just by watching, you will like your subconscious will cut on a lot of things just by
Yeah.
movement, just by hip movements, anything that just by watching it, you won't get a lot of things. You don't need to be a genius about the game. You don't need to have read books and books of soccer. You just need to watch soccer because it's just play and replay. It's you see a pattern and you just follow it, and it goes again and again and again. Of course, different circumstances, and there's a lot of them, but it
Yeah.
is it's the way it is. And back to what you said about the stadium. So I think that soccer is. I say I'm a big sport fan, right? I love football. I love to watch
Mm.
football. But I think that the biggest reason why I love to watch football is because I can have my football game here and be able to study, be able to work, being able to do anything because the
Hmm.
play will stop. There
Yeah,
will be a stop, there will be a first down, everyone will scream, whatever. I can get to work.
for
But
sure.
in soccer, you get your eyes off the ball and you don't even know what's going on. And the commentators don't help because they get super excited before even the ball
Oh
got
yeah,
to the box. So
yeah,
that's what I love about soccer. It's
yeah.
something that you need to be watching. Like it keeps you. You know how a good movie
Hmm.
gets you completely into the movie. I feel soccer
Yeah,
is the same way. You get your eyes out of it and you just completely lost a meg. You lost a meg. You lost a, I don't know, something magical. You know,
for sure.
in football you might not miss it. You really might not because you might turn your head to tell your mom something and then you turn around and they still on a timeout. So
Yeah, it's true. I will tell you the cool part in our house is, Susan is fluent in Spanish, and so when we watch a game, she'll watch the Spanish version,
yeah.
and I tell you, I don't know, honestly, don't know what they're saying, so I ask her to translate some of the stuff, but it's pretty awesome. You don't need to understand the language to know that whatever's happening is very exciting, and it's like that way the whole way through. So it's been something pretty cool that, thanks to her, that I've been able to enjoy. Um, so we've been talking, believe it or not, for about 30 minutes already. We went by pretty quick. So just really my last question that I had for you is, what do you have any final lessons or thoughts for, that kids can take away, not just or not just kids, but um, anyone, adults, kids, anyone, that can take away for how you set your sights on something and you made it happen? Do you have any lessons learned that you could pass on to kids who maybe are, or adults who are doubting themselves, want to start a business but not
So
sure?
I have two different. The first one on the soccer focus away from what the business could be on playing soccer, on how the parents could feel about their kids playing P1, P2, whatever it is.
Mhm.
I will tell them not to worry. I will tell them just to let the kids play. Try not to put so much thought into it because the more the parents put thought into it, the more the kid puts thought into it, the more the kid will not love the game. So I will say P1, P2, P3, it doesn't really matter. Like nowadays, who plays in P1, who plays in P2 is not dictated by the level of the player. And sometimes an 8 year old in 2 years can develop so much that the one that was above them on 8 year old now they're behind. So don't worry, just work on that love of the game. Make sure that your kid loves the game. Make sure that your kid enjoys the game. Because if they're not capable of being happy at this age, even they grow, they go play college, they won't enjoy the game, they won't be happy, they won't succeed. And Messi talks about it. Someone that like Lionel Messi says it, the day that I don't love the game, that's the day that I'm walking away from it. And it's something for us to think about. As someone that has everything, understands that the love for the game comes first and everything else will fall into place. And then on the business side, I would say born here, not born here, you're in the best country in the world. When it comes to opportunity, when it comes to to things that you can do, there is you can make a whole fortune out of a small piece of glass. It's amazing. Like it's really amazing. America allows you to, if you want, you can. You really, and it is how it is. When I was that's I knew it when I was in Europe, and when I came here, I certify that it is true
Yeah,
that you come here, you have an idea, either it's good or it's bad, because an idea might not be amazing, but as you start doing it, you realize what is the right path to follow. So I will say, you have an idea, you really love something, do it, because you will regret not to do it. You will regret not to have the chance of, sorry, of trying. Because if you, what's wrong with you if you have a bad day? Nothing. If you have a bad day, nothing. How many more you have until the day that you're gone? Plenty of them. Just put, the way I would say is put your faith in God and go forward.
all right.
Because failure is just part of life, and it's something beautiful. Honestly, that's the only way that we learn.
Yeah. All right, Matteo. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know you've got 1,000 other places you could have been, but you spent the time with me. And I'm really appreciative of it. And again, thank you on behalf of all the families and everything else for what you've done for the community. And I look forward to seeing the next step with your business and the academy, and then where you go with your professional team as well. And thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, Joe.